Hey, it's Max Bonstetter from Sports Illustrated Kids. Today I'm here with Mark Tatum, the Deputy Commissioner of the NBA. I have some questions for you. Is that okay?
Absolutely, Max. Look forward to talking to you.
All right, let's get started. We haven't had an official interview in a while, so how's the job going?
The job's been great. This has been 5 years now as the deputy commissioner, and it has been a lot of fun. A lot's changed in that time in terms of the global growth of the game, the new players who are in our league, but it's been a lot of fun.
Great to hear. This is the most international NBA All-Star game in history. There are a record 18 international players from 14 countries participating this weekend, and Team Giannis has 5 of the record's 7 international players in the 68th NBA All-Star game. What does that say about global growth in the league?
Well, it says a lot, right? It says that the players, first of all, it says that this is the league where the best players in the world can come play basketball. Second of all, it shows the development of these players because, now we're up to 25% of our players in the NBA are born outside the United States. But now these record number of all-stars and participants in the all-star weekend in the Rising Stars Challenge, we saw the next generation of all-stars, right? Guys like Ben Simmons, for example, who had an incredible game. And in the all-star game, as you mentioned, 7 all-stars, 18 throughout the weekend. So the level of talent from around the world continues to get greater and greater, and they're having a bigger impact on our league today than they ever have.
That's great. You broke some big news the other day announcing the what's it called, the BAL, I believe.
Yes.
It's a new league in Africa. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. So we just announced yesterday that the NBA and FIBA jointly are working together and launching the first ever Pan-African basketball league called the Basketball Africa League. And so this is a collaboration to really grow the game of basketball on the continent. A lot of people don't realize, but Africa has 6 of the 10 fastest growing economies in the world. It's an incredibly young population, and basketball is very, very popular there. Players like Giannis Antetokounmpo, whose parents were Nigerian, and he came through Greece, but his parents were raised and born in Nigeria. Joel Embiid from Cameroon, and there's a long history of African players who play in our league. Hakeem Olajuwon, Dikembe Mutombo, Hall of Fame players. So this is the next step in the development of the game on the continent of Africa.
That sounds super exciting. It's going to be really cool. Will there be more than one game in London this year? And what's your plans for international games?
The game in London has been fantastic. That game sells out in less than an hour. The demand is there. The facility, the O2 facility, is one of the nicest arenas in the entire world. London is a great place to go play, and our teams, by the way, love it. We're constantly looking at should we be doing more games, Europe and other places around the world. There are some other places too, like France, where basketball is incredibly popular, and so that's an area where we're looking at too. So no plans yet, or nothing's been announced yet for next season, but I can tell you that we will be playing regular season games in Europe next year and continuing that tradition.
Cool. Will we see an NBA All-Star game in the near future overseas?
Overseas it's a good question. I would never say never. I'd say in the foreseeable future, there's nothing planned. We actually have our All-Star games pretty planned out pretty far out, as is today. There's such demand, certainly overseas, but there's demand from our NBA teams to host the All-Star game as well. Because just being here in Charlotte, for example, you see the attention that the city gets. You see the opportunity for a city to showcase its city through the All-Star game and put the eyes of the world on that city. And our teams want to do that. And our teams enjoy hosting other teams in the market. Here, Michael Jordan's been an unbelievable host, along with Fred Whitfield, the president of the Charlotte Hornets and the rest of the Hornets organization. So I would say we played an All-Star game in Toronto, so we've played one outside the United States recently, but in terms of overseas, it's something that we're looking at, but nothing right now that I would say is on the definitive short-term roadmap.
Definitely. Almost every person that I've talked to here in Charlotte has told me that it's more crowded now than it was for New Year's. So it just shows how crazy NBA All-Star Weekend can be, right?
Absolutely, and the economic impact too. I mean, it really becomes the center place of basketball for a week, and the entire global basketball community tunes in, comes to Charlotte. The government figures have estimated that there's some $100 million of economic impact positive benefit just from people coming into the city, spending money and investing. And for a lot of people I've spoken to, many of the guests, this is their first time in Charlotte. And they come here, they experience it, and they, and they go back and they say, you know what, Charlotte's a pretty cool city. So it's a great marketing opportunity for our NBA cities as well.
How did the inaugural NBA 2K League go, and how will Season 2 be different?
The inaugural NBA 2K season was amazing. I mean, we started this league from scratch, 17 teams, and the Knicks 2K team actually ended up winning the final championship in the final tournament. Next year, we're even more excited. We have 21 teams, so 4 new teams coming into the NBA 2K League. We actually just held our first ever international tryout, so I think you're going to see many more international gamers being drafted and selected onto NBA 2K League teams. So I think those are some of the new changes that we're going to see, but it's surpassed our expectations in terms of interest.
What's the future of esports?
The future of esports is large. I think you're going to see potentially international teams. There's no reason that we can't have a team from Beijing or Paris or Rio play against a team from New York or LA or Chicago. And I think that is going to be one of the things that you see, I think, continuing to sell out arenas and venues, continuing to be broadcast on different platforms like Twitch. I think all those things are going to continue to grow and grow.
How about sports gambling? Should kids start learning about the over and under now?
Kids shouldn't, because I would say, there's no doubt that more and more states now have adopted policies to make it legal to bet on sports. That is going to continue to grow and grow, and I think more states will make it legal to bet on sports. I do think that when legal adults, people who are legally allowed to bet, when they're able to bet on sports, they're more engaged in the sport. But I think until you're of legal age, I think you should enjoy the game, have fun. Obviously, things like fantasy are available out there, and a lot of kids participate in fantasy sports. And I think that's a great way to consume sports if you're a kid.
Cool. All right, so now I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I normally do rapid fire with athletes, so I thought it'd be fun to do with you.
All right.
Here we go. Favorite nickname?
Hoover.
Best video game?
NBA 2K.
There it is. Favorite rapper?
Drake.
Name one thing you wish people knew about you, but they don't.
That I'm a pretty good bowler.
Oh, that's cool. Who is the GOAT of basketball?
There is no right answer for that one.
Down by 2, 10 seconds left. The ball is in your hands. What's your go-to move?
Fadeaway jumper.
For the win.
For the win, absolutely.
Awesome. And my last question, attitude or technique, which is more important?
I would say that attitude is more important. If you believe that you can win, if you believe that you can be great, that will carry you a long ways.
All right, well, that's it. Thanks so much, Mr. Tatum.
Thanks so much, Max. What a vacuum then? Yeah, they know what a vacuum cleaner, but they wouldn't know Hoover. Yeah. But so I was a second baseman. So my teammates, because I had a really good glove, I would just eat everything up. And so I was like a vacuum cleaner. So my nickname was Hoover. That's funny. Because every ground ball that came my way, I just sucked it up like that.